Hi, welcome to another edition of Business Bites from Bauer Media, Northern Ireland. My name is David Tighe, the Managing Director of Bauer Media here in Northern Ireland. And each week we catch up with a special guest to get some insight and opinion. This week I'm really pleased to welcome Lorraine Acheson, who's the MD for Women in Business Northern Ireland. Lorraine, welcome to Business Bites.
Thank you for having me, David. It's lovely to meet you.
Well, it's great to have you, and especially as we understand that you are literally less than a week in your role, so we will be gentle, don't worry.
Thank you.
Well, it's great to have you as the new Managing Director of Women in Business Northern Ireland. And I think but before we get into a conversation about how women in business are getting on in Northern Ireland, it'd be great to hear a little bit about your own story. Tell us a little bit about you and where you've come from and your background, and perhaps some of the challenges or opportunities that you've had along the way as a woman in business.
Sure. So I've been working for the last 20 or so years across a range of management and leadership roles in a range of sectors, actually. So I feel I've covered a lot of the areas that many other women in business are part of. So I've worked in the corporate sector, I've worked for myself, I've also worked for government, and I've done that internationally. So I've worked across the UK, Europe and Australia. And over the most recent period, I've been here in Northern Ireland about 10 years. I've been working for Innovate UK, who are a UK government agency, and my responsibility was Northern Ireland. So based here, working with businesses across Northern Ireland. And I guess turning to your question about the challenges that I faced, I guess it's one of the observations I've had that's actually drawn me to women in business as an organisation is almost the power of a network and the importance of a network. So you can hear from my accent, I'm not a local. I moved to Northern Ireland in 2010 for love, as many people may, and but I didn't have a business network here. I'd worked overseas. I've been living in Australia for about 9 years, and I continued to work outside Northern Ireland, kind of travelling a lot with my role. So when I actually started working just on Northern Ireland, I found that I didn't have a network. I didn't know other people in my industry, and I think networking and the importance of meeting others, and particularly women, is really important, as is mentoring, and that's something I found along the way, and it helped me build relationships here in Northern Ireland. It's helped me throughout my career, and my roles have always been working in partnerships. So here in Northern Ireland, over the last 5 years, I've been working very closely with businesses of all sizes, with government partners such as Invest Northern Ireland and the Department for Economy, with the universities, and I think my observation is, as a woman, it's really served me to join a network, to link in with others, to build relationships. But I think equally that can sometimes feel a little bit uncomfortable, or people perceive it feels unnatural. So for me, it's been about learning how to do that so it makes sense. So it is natural, and actually it's about building relationships rather than just doing it with a kind of an ulterior business motive.
Well, that sounds like a really interesting journey that you've had, and you're joining Women in Business on their 20th anniversary. So I suppose it's a good opportunity to look forward from that point. And one of the objectives of the organisation is about how we're going to operate in a post-pandemic world. And I assume, and I know there are specific challenges for women that may be perhaps slightly different to their male counterparts in this post-pandemic world.
Sure. I mean, the pandemic has hit everybody at all levels of society, and obviously both men and women. But we do know that women have been affected in an increasing way. Often that's because of the work that women have been doing, women who are working in retail or in hospitality. We also know the pressures that have been faced by parents, and we know that women often take the greater role when it comes to parenting and household responsibilities. I say, put my hands up, that is not universal, but we know in general women are talking about this double burden which has fallen upon those of us who've had to work from home. So you're absolutely right. We're coming to hopefully an end of a really challenging 2 years for businesses generally, but we do know that many women have face particular challenges, and there's a real need to look at how we can rebuild the economy so it benefits all. So yeah, it's definitely a priority for us.
And when we look at the 20 years, Northern Ireland's produced some great female pioneers. But I'm sure they are in specific sectors. I'm sure there are sectors that are stronger than others. So, in your view, what are those strong sectors where women have pioneered in our part of the world? And perhaps where are the sectors for the future that we're looking to bring more female talent into?
Sure. So I think it's true to say there are strong female business leaders in all sectors of the economy. But I think some sectors are more noticeable than others. And certainly, if we look at women who run their own businesses and grow their own scale-up businesses, it was very visible to me in my previous role that women were often setting up businesses in the health and life science sector. If they were studying science and technology, often it has been more in the health and life sciences, less traditionally in engineering and manufacturing, although that's changing. So, and I guess for me, actually, one of the opportunities is looking at how we can do more to encourage young women to study those STEM subjects, so science, technology, engineering, mathematics, and where we can shine a light on the role models that already exist to make those careers attractive to women. So they're actually looking at a whole range of careers when they're leaving education. So you're absolutely right. I think there are key sectors. For me, it's health and life science that stands out, but I think there are pioneers everywhere. And what we want to do is make sure there's no barriers to young women entering any of those sectors.
And I always imagine a young person watching this at the start of their journey into the working environment. And, I always think, what words of encouragement could someone like yourself, who's a living example of a woman who is managing director of an organization, if that young female budding entrepreneur is watching this interview, what advice would you give to that person?
Sure. It's a great question. And I think I'd probably go back to the 2 points I picked up on before, which is about networking and mentoring. I've always had strong mentors throughout my career. I've sought them out. Sometimes you have an opportunity to get a mentor through a mentoring program, and a mentoring program, for instance, is something that we offer here at Women in Business. But I guess not to be afraid to ask other people, and both men and women, about how they progress their career. Look at those people around you who you find inspirational, and approach them and ask for some time to discuss career opportunities or ask people about their journeys. I think that's important because it opens up new ideas. But I think it's also important because it helps build connections, and you never know where those connections can take you. So definitely look at how you can explore wider networks and think about mentoring, be that informal or formal.
And as you look to the future in your role, what are your aims and aspirations for yourself in the role and for the organisation? Where do you hope to take the organisation into the future?
Well, as you said, David, we've got a great anniversary this year. So it's 20 years since Women in Business started. We've got our 10th anniversary for our awards, which take place next month on the 10th of March. So for me, it's really coming in at this exciting time. It's looking at how we can grow the organisation to really make sure that women are playing a key role as we rebuild the economy of Northern Ireland, but also in terms of making a societal impact, because we know that when women grow and build businesses, when they have the opportunity to develop exciting and interesting careers or refresh their careers, that actually has a positive impact on the whole of society. So it's not just economic, it's societal too. And I think that's what really excites me. The opportunity is both economic and societal. So yeah, I'm here to build on the brilliant work that's been done today, to connect more with new potential members, new corporate partners, and really hoping that the next 20 years are just another period of growth and success for women in business.
Well, we wish you the best of luck in your new role, Lorraine, and thanks for talking to us today. And all the contact information, if you'd like to join Women in Business, will be coming up at the end of the conversation. So thank you for being our guest.
My pleasure. Thanks, David.